Okay, so the other day we started off the unit and we talked about two key words, vocabulary words. What were they? Alexa? Published and fictional. So we can do that. We can circle them up here. Publish was a verb. What's a verb? What is a verb? In what?
An action.
An action. What does that mean, an action? Hezekiah? Like you're doing something. It's what you do. It's what you do. It's what you do in a sentence. So in this sentence, to print and sell a book or other written words. Print and sell is an action. You're actually selling something. You're earning money. Okay, and you're printing something. You're pressing the button and print paper comes out. And the other one that we talked about was fictional. Everybody say it. Fictional. Fictional. What does the word fictional mean? Brennan? Hey, one more time. I'm sorry. You didn't have it written down. I started to hear the other day. What does fictional mean? Who can tell me? Zaire? Not real. You can say it's the word fake, right? If you don't have the word fake written next to it, emphasize that with fake. It's not real. So we talked about fictional characters, correct? And we said if it's an adjective. What's an adjective? Hezekiah? It's an adjective. We wrote notes about adjectives. Go back to your notes. Let's see what it says on the side. Remember, we talked about verbs. We talked about adjectives on the very side right here. We talked about verbs and we talked about adjectives. And I said to write down a word that helps you remember what adjectives are. I wrote down a word. Make sure I see right here to show what adjectives are. You know? They describe. What does that mean that they describe? Hezekiah? You're telling someone about the thing. Let's come up with a good word that describes. How would you describe me? Zaire? Perfect. So Zaire made a few observations. He said, you're wearing a cross on your necklace. I can assume that you might be Christian. I can assume that you have blonde hair and you're short. He could just see that right off the bat, right? He can see from my hair that I have blonde hair. He could see my height. He knows that the average person is probably this tall and I'm a little shorter than the average person. He knows all of these things. That's are adjectives that you could describe me. Short, blonde, anything like that could be descriptive. So fictional is a way to describe a type of story. Is it a fake story? Does it happen? So what can we predict here? Imagine right in advance. What do you think? Are they going to be talking about fictional books in this story? Potentially. Let's have a look. Now that we have reviewed our vocabulary words, let's look at our text. The first thing we do when we unpack is underline the title. Underline the title. Number the paragraphs. So they already numbered our paragraphs, but let's circle them anyways. Okay. So how far? I only have one page up here, but how far does the story go? What paragraph does it end at?
Paragraph 6.
Are we sure about that? Because we remember last time how the story continued on to the other one, or does it end there? Let's make sure.
It ends there.
It ends there. So it has 6 paragraphs.
Ready?
And let's read the title. Let's all read the title together. Ready?
Imagine, write, invent.
All right. What do we think it's going to be about? Let's write down here. Let's choose a spot on the side of our paper to predict. Where should we put it? Maybe up here. Predict. What will the story be about? What will the story be about? We can use some clues. What are some clues that will help us predict? What are some clues that will help us predict? Hezekiah? What are some clues that we can use to predict? What was the clue that gave you that? The title? Imagine, right, an event, something told you it's about witches. I'm looking for the clues around the story that can help us figure out. What about the pictures? So the pictures. So one clue is the pictures. What else can we use as clues? Alexa? Okay, so you saw a picture of her writing. So pictures. Yinwell?
Her name.
Her name. Which name? J.K. Rowling? So he used the caption. Captions can help us figure out what the story is about. The title. What about big, bold print? Can these words, imagination, all of those words, can they help us figure out what the story is about? Big words, bold words that stick out can help us tell us what the story is about. So I want you to do that. Go look at the pictures, look at the captions, circling the vocabulary words, and tell me what you think the story is going to be about. Write it down somewhere on the side. It doesn't matter where. Thank you, Alexa, for writing down your prediction. Thank you, Yanwell, for writing down your prediction. What do you think the story is going to be about? So what were you going to say the story is going to be about? Writing? And what made you think that? Because of the title. So you think it's going to be writing. What more can it be about? What do you think more? To invent writing. So something about an author, someone being creative with writing. Alexa? Oh my Lord, she said, let me repeat that for those of us that are paying attention. She said she thinks it's going to be about J.K. Rowling, which she used her context clues here, and about her writing Harry Potter, and she probably used the picture way down here of the Harry Potter, I would imagine, of the Harry Potter house. Maybe that helps you figure that out. So she used some background knowledge. She used the pictures. She used the caption to figure out maybe how she's resilient and did it. So she also used a vocabulary word from our past, talking about how maybe it's about how J.K. Rowling is resilient and maybe creative with her writing. So that to me is a very good prediction. Yanwell?
Writers and inventors.
Writers and inventors. How are writers and inventors similar?
Because
Do they do the same thing? But they're similar in some ways, right? How are they similar? Hezekiah? They never give up. What do you mean by that? They never give up. Keep trying. Is a writer's job ever done? No, they keep writing and writing and writing until they get a book that's good, that's published worthy. An inventor's job is never really done until they have an invention. And even when we make inventions, they can still keep going. So I can understand that. Alexa? Yes. So an inventor creates something new that's never been done, and a writer creates a book that's never been read before, right? So that's interesting, right? They both are creating something. One creating an invention, the other one's creating a book, but both of them are brand new. There's something that no one else has done before, right? So that's a very good observation. Okay, so it is by Sarah Reham. So Reham. All right, so we're going to do some choral reading. I'm going to read a sentence and then you're going to repeat it, ready? You know that anyone can be an inventor. You say.
anyone can be an inventor.
Scientists can be inventors.
Scientists can be inventors.
Chefs can be inventors.
Chefs can be inventors.
Kids can be inventors.
Kids can be inventors.
So what is important about that? What is one thing that we can say that's important about that paragraph that we can underline and really make clear, Brennan? Yeah, so what is one sentence that kind of says all of that? Yes, so let's all do that. Let's underline that. Anyone can be an inventor. Make sure you go ahead and highlight that. Highlight, underline, whatever it is that you have, whatever tools you came up with. Anyone can be an inventor. Any writers are inventors too. You say.
Writers are inventors too.
Think about it.
Think about it.
Like inventors,
Like inventors.
writers are creative.
Writers are creative.
So, does that sound like something I'm just talking about? We were talking about how writers and inventors are creative, and they're similar, right? So, think about it. Like inventors, writers are creative. They create new stories. You say.
They create new stories.
Inventors and writers are also resilient.
Inventors and writers are also resilient.
Alexa, what does resilient mean? Is that a good prediction? That's what you said? Isn't that what you said they're alike and they inventors and in your prediction you said that inventors and that this story might be about how J.K. Rowling is resilient and how she never gives up. So I would say that your prediction is accurate, correct. Never gives up.